Welcome back, deep divers. Ready for another plunge into the depths of, well, whatever we find interesting.
Always. What are we diving into today?
Today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of Fede Vigevani.
Fede Vigevani.
Yeah, the YouTuber.
Oh, right. I know the name, but refresh my memory. Why him?
Well, his YouTube channel is kinda a big deal. It's the most subscribed Spanish-speaking channel in the world. Over 56 million subscribers.
Wow, 56 million.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. More people than the entire population of many countries.
So he's got a global audience.
Absolutely. That's why we're here to unpack his success. We've got a stack of YouTube videos, some Wikipedia articles, even some transcripts.
Sounds like we're well equipped.
We are. We're on a quest to figure out just what makes Fede's channel tick, what's his secret sauce, what are his inspirations, and what kind of impact does this kind of content have on his audience, especially considering they're mostly kids and teenagers.
All right, let's break it down. Where do we start?
Well, let's start with a little backstory. Fede didn't just magically appear with millions of subscribers.
Right. Got to start somewhere.
He began his YouTube journey with a group called Dos Sogas. He formed it with his friend, Matias Solanas.
Dos Sogas. Rings a bell?
They were huge in Latin America, doing all those comedic sketches and hidden camera pranks.
So he's been at it for a while, tapping into that early YouTube vibe.
Exactly. And get this, even though Dos Sogas disbanded in 2018, their channel is still the fourth most subscribed channel in Uruguay.
Wow, that's impressive. So even way back then, Fede had a knack for connecting with an audience.
He definitely did. But things got even more interesting after Dos Sogas. Fede launched a solo career.
A solo career, interesting.
Yeah, and this is where things take a turn. He started exploring his musical talents, releasing his first single, Te Encontré, in 2018.
Hold on, so he's not just a funny guy, he's a musician too.
He is. And he's formed La Banda, a group of kids he collaborates with musically. Their song, No Somos Lobos, was a huge hit.
That's clever. He's not just making content for kids, he's making content with them.
Exactly. Genius, right?
Totally. But it doesn't stop there, does it?
Oh, not at all. He's performed at major venues all over Latin America. He hosted the Kids' Choice Awards Mexico in 2021, and he recently hit a major milestone.
Okay, spill the beans.
He's officially the most subscribed Spanish-speaking YouTuber, and he even participated in Mr. Beast's $1 million challenge.
Wait, he was in a video with Mr. Beast?
He was.
No wonder he's got millions of subscribers. But seriously, it's pretty remarkable how he's always adapting and evolving his content. Yeah. Always trying new things, jumping on trends.
Right.
It's how you stay relevant on YouTube, especially in such a fast-paced world.
Absolutely. To really understand Fede's success, we need to take a closer look at the content itself.
Okay, I'm game. Let's see what he's got.
We picked out two videos that give us a good snapshot of his style. Ready to jump in?
Absolutely.
Okay, the first one is called Compré un payaso en the deep web. Broma.
Which means...
I bought a clown on the deep web. Prank.
He bought a clown on the deep web for a prank.
Yep. And the victims of this prank are the Stokes twins.
The Stokes twins? Okay, I gotta hear. So what's the setup?
Fede pretends he's on some shady, deep web marketplace, and he accidentally enters the Stokes twins' address as the delivery location.
Oh, no. I can only imagine the chaos.
You're telling me?
Yeah.
He even shows them a fake deep web page on his laptop to make it super believable.
That's dedication.
Right. It actually makes you think about the behind-the-scenes effort. To make that prank look convincing, he probably needed some graphic design skills and knowledge of how those hidden websites are designed.
That's true. You don't just pull up a real deep web page for a YouTube video.
Exactly. So, as you can imagine, when the clown shows up,
all hell breaks loose.
You got it. Lights go out, screaming, the works. Classic prank video gold.
So we've got suspense, humor, and collaboration. He's hitting all the marks for viral content.
He's a pro. But let's move on to the second video. This one is completely different.
This one's called LL Dr. Lizarraga Entró a mi sótano.
Which translates to?
Dr. Lizarraga entered my basement.
Okay, just the title is creepy. What's this one about?
It's part of an ongoing storyline on his channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it revolves around him and his friends being stalked by this mysterious figure, Dr. Lizarraga?
Ooh, a stalker storyline. I bet that's a hit with his younger audience.
Oh, yeah, they love it.
So what happens in this particular video?
Well, Fede and his friends find a USB drive.
A USB drive?
Yeah, and it was left behind by Dr. Lizarraga.
Intriguing. What's on it?
Security camera footage from inside their house.
No way, from inside the house.
Yep, and the footage is from a time when they weren't even home.
That's seriously creepy. I mean, the found footage genre can get pretty intense. How does he make that work for a younger audience?
He's actually really smart about it.
How so?
He dials back the graphic violence and jump scares,
Makes sense.
focuses more on the suspense, the mystery.
So how does he create that?
He uses things like creepy music, shadowy figures, unexplained events.
Right, building that spooky atmosphere.
Exactly. It's more thrilling than terrifying for his young viewers.
Like a PG version of Paranormal Activity. I love how he's created this whole world with Dr. Lizarga. It's like a mystery series unfolding episode by episode. So we've got pranks, suspense, music. He's not afraid to experiment with genres, but his content's clearly targeted towards a younger audience. What do you think draws them to his channel?
Well, he's tapping into trends that are already popular online. The deep web prank. That plays into the whole mystery surrounding the internet's hidden corners.
Right.
And the Dr. Lizorga storyline, pure found footage horror, which has been huge for years.
It's like he's taking these existing trends and filtering them through a lens that's fun and engaging for kids.
Exactly. And we can't forget about the
Chloe.
collaborations. He teams up with other YouTubers like the Snokes twins in that prank video.
Right. That was a good one.
It helps both creators reach new audiences. It's a win-win.
I bet the kids love seeing their favorite YouTubers team up like a crossover episode of a TV show. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about the impact of this kind of content. What are the pros and cons of kids watching videos like feeds?
Well, on the positive side, there's the entertainment value.
Right.
His videos are fun, engaging, often pretty funny. They can spark imagination, creativity, especially with those elaborate storylines and challenges.
Totally. And those collabs, they show kids the positive side of working together, like how YouTubers can support each other.
Exactly. It's not just about individual success, it's about community.
Right. And it introduces them to a diverse range of creators, broadens their horizons.
And for some, watching content in Spanish might even encourage language learning.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that.
It's a huge bonus.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But like with anything, there are also potential downsides.
Of course.
What are some of the concerns parents might have?
One concern is the blurring of lines between reality and fiction. Those pranks, while entertaining, are staged. Younger viewers might not always understand that.
Especially with something like the deep web prank. It's important for kids to understand that the deep web, while real, isn't just a playground for buying clowns.
Exactly. It can be a dangerous place.
We need to teach kids to be critical thinkers.
Absolutely. To question what they see online, understand that not everything is as it seems.
And then there's the ethical considerations of prank videos.
Right. While most are harmless, some could involve elements of distress or deception, which might not be appropriate for young, impressionable minds.
It's a good reminder that even seemingly harmless content can have unintended consequences.
Definitely.
We also need to be mindful of the amount of time kids are spending online.
Mm-hmm.
Hours glued to YouTube could mean less time for other important things, like playing outside, reading, just hanging out with friends and family.
Couldn't agree more. Balance is key.
Okay, so we've talked about his background, content, possible influences, even some of the potential impacts. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have, but I think what's really interesting is how Fed's channel is almost a microcosm of the bigger trends we see online.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. He's using humor, suspense, collaboration, even a bit of horror to capture the attention of millions.
Yeah.
He's constantly adapting, evolving, finding new ways to connect with his audience.
He's like a one-man content creation machine.
But what does this tell us about the future of online entertainment, especially for younger audiences?
That's a good question.
It tells us that the lines between entertainment, education, even marketing are becoming increasingly blurred.
So it's not just about the fun and games anymore.
Exactly. As we become more reliant on these online platforms, we need to be having more critical conversations about how they're shaping young minds.
This deep dive has been fascinating. We've learned so much about Fede Vigevani, his channel, the broader trends in online content creation.
We have, but I think there's one more crucial point we need to touch on before we wrap things up. It's about the audience themselves. We've talked a lot about Feed, his creative choices, the impacts, but we can't forget that kids aren't just passive sponges absorbing everything they see.
Yeah, you're right. We shouldn't underestimate their intelligence.
Exactly. They're capable of critical thinking, analyzing what they watch, even challenging those narratives.
So even though he's blurring those lines between reality and fiction, kids might still be able to tell the difference.
It's definitely possible. That blurring of lines might actually encourage them to think more critically about what they're seeing. They might start asking questions like, how did he do that? Or is that real?
So instead of passively consuming content, they're engaging with it on a deeper level.
Exactly. And that's where media literacy comes in. We need to equip kids with the tools to understand how media is made, how it influences us, how to be responsible consumers.
That's a responsibility we all share. Parents, educators, even creators like Fede himself. It's about fostering a healthy and informed relationship with online content.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So, as we resurface from this deep dive into the world of Fede Vigevani, what are your main takeaways?
Well, first off, Fede is a master at what he does. He knows how to entertain, how to adapt, how to connect with his audience, and on a global scale, too.
And he's not just doing it for the views, he's incorporating music, collaborating, building these elaborate storylines that keep his audience coming back for more.
He's turned his channel into this whole universe that kids want to be a part of.
Yeah.
But it's not just about Fade. His success really highlights the power, the influence of these online platforms, especially for younger generations.
It's a reminder that the digital landscape is constantly evolving. We need to evolve with it.
Right.
We need to have these conversations about responsible content creation, media literacy, all those ethical considerations.
We also need to remember that kids are smarter than we sometimes give them credit for.
Yeah.
They can be critical thinkers, and we should encourage that. So, to all our listeners out there, keep exploring the online world, but do it with a critical eye.
Yes.
Question what you see, be mindful of the time you spend online, and don't be afraid to dive deeper, learn more about the content you're consuming.
And remember, there's a whole world of fascinating stories waiting to be uncovered just below the surface. Until next time, happy diving.
Happy diving.